What were the military strategies of the Winter War? The Winter War was a fascinating conflict that took place between Finland and the Soviet Union from 1939 to 1940. This war showcased two very different military strategies shaped by the harsh winter conditions and the unique geography of the region. Let's break down how both sides approached this challenging conflict. The Finnish military relied heavily on guerrilla tactics and mobility. They had an intimate understanding of their own terrain, which was filled with dense forests and deep snow. Finnish forces used ski troops who could move quickly and quietly. This allowed them to conduct surprise hit-and-run attacks on the slower Soviet units. They would strike Soviet convoys and patrols and then vanish into the wilderness, making it hard for the Soviets to retaliate. One of the key strategies used by the Finns was called the Motti tactic. This involved breaking large Soviet formations into smaller, isolated groups. Finnish troops would cut off roads by felling trees, blocking Soviet advances. Then, they would encircle and attack these smaller groups, taking advantage of the Soviets' struggles with coordination and resupply in the forested areas. Finnish soldiers also made excellent use of the terrain and camouflage. They blended into their snowy environment with white camouflage, which helped them launch effective ambushes. On the Karelian Isthmus, they prepared strong defensive positions with trenches and coastal artillery to target Soviet troops crossing frozen waterways. On the other hand, the Soviet military initially planned a massive assault. They aimed to use their superior numbers and mechanized forces to quickly break through Finnish defenses, especially along the heavily fortified Mannerheim line. Their goal was to penetrate Finnish lines swiftly and push deep into Finland. However, the Soviet strategy faced challenges. They relied heavily on slow-moving armored columns and infantry that advanced along limited road networks. This made them vulnerable to Finnish ambushes and the Motti tactic. Their tactics were often rigid, repeating frontal assaults even when they suffered heavy losses. After facing significant setbacks due to the severe winter conditions and the difficult terrain, Soviet command had to reevaluate their approach. They shifted from ambitious rapid offensives to more cautious strategies. This included better coordination and artillery use to gradually wear down Finnish defenses. The Soviets did employ heavy artillery and air power to support their ground offensives. However, their effectiveness was limited by the weather and the Finnish countermeasures. In summary, the Winter War highlighted a clash between Finland's adaptive guerrilla tactics and the Soviet Union's reliance on overwhelming force. The Finns' ability to use mobility and terrain to their advantage allowed them to inflict significant losses on a numerically superior opponent. This conflict had lasting impacts on military strategies in Europe, particularly regarding winter warfare and guerrilla tactics.